Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. BTC is still holding that same area at $107,000. This is coming from Don Crypto Trades, technically at support, and bulls have been defending this level well so far. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart real quickly, guys. You can see Bitcoin did decline. This is the Bitcoin on the hourly. This is over the wee hours of the evening. We did see Bitcoin retest this level down and around here, and that is, as you can see, close to about $107,000 per Bitcoin. We are seeing buyers, though, buying up at this level right in there. And I'm just going to back out on the chart just to show you guys where this level did hit before. So it did wick down back on October the 22nd a couple of times before coming back up, retesting support in around $116,000, came back down to 107. Tried to bounce back up, and now, guys, it's coming back down again. So that is the fourth time, not even counting this in here, but the fourth time it is trying to reclaim 107. But the bounces are also getting weaker, he says, which is something to note. Support is support until it isn't. And so that is the concerning thing, I think we should say. It is support until it isn't. If it breaks down, guys, we are going to go much lower. We could go below $100,000. Sitting in and around $98,000 per Bitcoin if we do get down to the bottom of this wick printed on June the 22nd. Hopefully this holds up, though. Fear still dominating the market here at 36. Market cap is down by 3.41%. So a bit more bear activity today. Bitcoin down by over 3%. We got Ethereum down 4.59. We got XRP down by 5.45%. So bears taking over. But guys, the macro perspective is still looking fairly positive, and we've got several analysts here on crypto Twitter explaining the same. Raoul Pal being one of them. He says, I usually give you a small fragment of global macro investor when I sit down and write, as I did this weekend. So crypto is driven by liquidity, as you know. And so I think this is, the big point here that, if you don't understand this concept, we're going to go over a little bit today, but this is the biggest thing that we have to understand for this crypto cycle, okay? So for total 2 to break higher, you need liquidity to make new highs. The government shutdown and TGA delayed that, but he says the everything code is in process by which debts get monetized. And due to the extension of debts to 5 years, the largest part of the liquidity lies ahead. And so he is demonstrating that with this chart here, the GMI US total liquidity, that is in black, and the federal government current expenditures, interest payments, that is in red here. Liquidity does have to expand, and guys, we're set up for that to occur. So when we look at, I'm going to go over a few things first here. Skycodelic pointing this out. My goodness, the sentiment is wild here on crypto Twitter. So many are capitulating right here before full-scale liquidity and global injection. So we are expecting a liquidity boost in the market, and this is projected to get the market up even higher, and some are projecting into Q1 of 2026. Bros, he says, bear market don't start on the precipice of global liquidity expansion. So that is something we have to acknowledge, right? When we're about to expand liquidity, that's not when bear markets start. Bear markets start when liquidity contracts. So right now we have the most favorable macro environment, as Raoul Pal also does state here, most favorable macro environment we've had in years. And then he gives some examples of that. This entire cycle has been built on liquidity restrictive environment, which is why only Bitcoin has made new highs. This has happened via adoption and acceptance. Crypto is a vehicle of liquidity, and we have not had that yet. This is why the cycle is delayed, because the business cycle has been delayed. Altcoins need this. Stocks are ripping due to the AI boom and productivity streamlining, and it's only the top 20 pulling up the remainder of the other stocks. The odd thing, though, that we're noticing is gold. That's also been booming due to global uncertainty. So we have this coupled with uncertainty and wars and trade wars. This is why gold is booming. Crypto is the riskiest asset class and requires less positive liquidity to reach its potentials at this stage, which is why it is not moving yet. Liquidity is coming to the system, and it's coming in droves. It is literally inevitable. It has to, otherwise the world goes bankrupt. If you're calling for a bear market or think the bear market starts here, you need to understand the liquidity situation within the macroeconomic environment. So just going on more about liquidity, why it's important. That brings me to my next point here, guys, with Bitcoin dominance. So I'm going to talk more about global liquidity in a second, though. First, from Ash Crypto. So Hopium, alt season is coming soon. So guys, you have to remember alt season generally does follow Bitcoin. When Bitcoin breaks, alts break, and alts really haven't seen a new all-time high. We've been tapping this level here. We've tapped it a few times, but we're trying to get up above this level in here. So this is the total 3 market cap. We saw the most recent high back in November of 2021, and a few times here, December 24, January 25, September 25, and October 25. We did hit up against these levels, but we're still just testing them. Our altcoins, rather, are testing these levels. We are hoping to get up above these levels and see a serious altcoin pump. So when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, this correlates with the altcoin market. So Bitcoin dominance is back above 60% and looks like it's ready to move higher. Bitcoin price and dominance always pumps from September to December. So guys, it's still just the beginning of November. And I think personally, we still have a ways to go. Let's bring up Bitcoin dominance here. And let's just take a look at this chart here. And as you guys can see, I'm going to throw this on the weekly just to give you guys a better idea of the trends, the global, or sorry, the broader trends here. And I've brought up this chart on this channel several times now. 41%. This is this zone in here, anywhere between 39 and 44-ish. This is where we have to see dominance go in order to see something meaningful for altcoins. At least this is what we've seen in the past. So we saw it in 2021. We also saw it in 2018. That's when altcoins really did make their break. So this has to collapse. And we were hoping to see that up until September. And then it retraced a little bit here. You guys can see Bitcoin dominance slowly making its way up. But, from a typical technical analysis, this to me looks like an inverted pennant pattern, so a bearish pennant pattern. Hopefully that means that we will continue this trend to the downside. In Q4, Bitcoin pumps and then alts pump with it and the USD value. But once Bitcoin dominance tops out, that's when we will see the alt Bitcoin pairs pump and we will see a true alt season. I'm going over this in some detail, but guys, if you want more detail on where I think the market's going to go and how I'm positioning my cryptocurrencies to cash out, follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. How high is the market going to go? I mean, we've been hearing conflicting views, and over there at the Patreon, I'm trying to parse this out in more detail, giving my subscribers my detailed perspective, where I'm going to be cashing out at, price targets, all that fun stuff. It is only $5 a month, but you got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock in to that price. Check it out if you're interested. Wanted to bring this up too with regards to virtual bacon and with regards to the dominance. Okay, he's explaining the same thing here, and he goes back to the liquidity cycle.
This is the time to continue to be bullish on altcoins as well. Bitcoin dominance, yes, it's rebounding, but it's still within the 50-week simple moving average. And it's still in a weekly downtrend. Lower highs and potentially the next lower high, it just needs to stay below 62%. I don't get why we should be saying that, Bitcoin dominance just has to go back to like 65% while it's still at below 60%. Even if we get above 60%, so what? The next high here is 62%. Until that happens, I'm not going to say this is like altcoin season is over. No, we are still in an altcoin season. Combining this point with the fact that the Fed is about to make the liquidity pivot, which will bring global liquidity back up. If they stop QT and start stealth QE, that will bring back up global liquidity. Remember, when global liquidity bottoms, Bitcoin dominance tops. And when global liquidity tops, Bitcoin dominance bottoms. So if global liquidity goes up, Bitcoin dominance is likely to roll over. This has been our base case for the longest time. I don't see why this is the period to be, bearish on altcoins. There's no evidence pointing to that.
So notice he says here, when liquidity dries up, that's when we see Bitcoin dominance top, and the opposite is true as well. When more liquidity is deployed, that's when we see Bitcoin dominance go down and altcoins take over. There's a lot more money to buy up these random cryptocurrencies that people don't really understand, but they'll take a chance on it. They will take a flyer. So I wanted to bring this up in case you guys wanted a better perspective of what global liquidity is, because we hear this term being thrown around all the time. Global liquidity is the ease with which financial participants can obtain funding or the overall flow of money and credit across borders. It is affected by a combination of macroeconomic policies, okay, so like interest rates. This is why we talk about Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve and the interest rates, financial regulation, and the willingness of financial institutions to lend, risk sentiment, and global economic activity. So everything combined will denote how much money enters the market. Also, money printer going brrr, that has to do with it, right? When global liquidity is high, more money moves through the system, potentially increasing asset prices, while the drop in liquidity can make it harder to secure financing and cause asset prices to fall. So when we have more money, when it's cheaper to borrow, this is when money flows into risk-on assets like cryptocurrencies, especially riskier assets like altcoins. And when there is no, when for example, when interest rates are higher or a policy changes or it shifts, this is when we don't see as much buying and prices go down because there's just not enough demand. So hope that was helpful, guys. As we were seeing Bitcoin moving down, we are also seeing XRP moving down currently. XRP fortunately has rebounded a little bit here, but it is also retesting these levels in here. So XRP getting down to about 139, 140. Of course, testing these levels from back on Thursday, October the 23rd, which we saw back in around here. So bounce, bounce, bounce. Not what I like to see. Nevertheless, it is what we are currently seeing at the moment. Michael Branch, though, bringing this article with regards to the Federal Reserve. Okay, so going back to liquidity, Federal Reserve pumps $50.35 billion into markets via repo operations. So the beginning of something positive. They did this on Friday. This move comes amid significant month-end collateral needs. The incident raises concerns, though, about liquidity conditions. The Fed still insists that market conditions remain robust with ample reserves, and the $50.35 billion infusion marks an historical high for the standing repo facility. The reserve repo facility simultaneously took in $51.8 billion. This indicates that the Fed's intervention was not isolated. This coordinated effort is aimed at addressing short-term liquidity needs that occur at the end of each month. This is generally when financial institutions face heightened collateral requirements. So we're seeing a little bit of activity, but it looks like short-term activity on month end. Of course, we are already on the third day of November, and I guess Friday was the 31st. Yeah, Friday was the 31st. Correct. The standing repo facility designed to provide overnight loans to primary dealers in exchange for Treasury securities acts as a crucial tool in managing short-term liquidity shortages. So this is on the shorter term. We still have to see what happens in terms of macro liquidity and how that is going to affect the market. But wanted to thank Virtual Bacon, of course, Ash Crypto as well, Skyco Delic, Raul Pal, and Don Crypto Trades. Dan, we'll call it Don Crypto Trades here on Twitter for posting those. The Trumps are confident, though, guys. Eric Trump says Bitcoin is about to go parabolic in the next 2 months. So November, December, that sticks to our Q4 timeline. Listen to this.
And the future is incredible. The future is bright. The future is incredible. And I think Q4 of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. So super excited.
How do you think Bitcoin's going to go?
I've always said that I think in time Bitcoin surpasses $1 million. I think with quantitative easing that we're going to have starting tomorrow when the announcement's made, and all signs point in the right direction, unless this guy's really off his rocker, but then he's going to just get laughed out of this country. But I think starting tomorrow you're going to see right drops. You see what's happening with M2, which is the money supply around the world, which is skyrocketing right now. Q4 has always historically been the best quarter, generally the best quarter for cryptocurrencies.
So some positive sentiment here from Eric Trump, unless he's just giving us lip service. Hopefully he is not. Okay. Positive quarter for cryptocurrencies. I mean, we're all, I'm sure, holding our breaths, making sure we don't, sell too soon. I think, it is important to, step back and make sure we are looking at this with a very, very clear perspective. Again, like I tell my Patreon subscribers, I do not want to make the same mistake that I made in 2021, round tripping my XRP. And so again, for my strategy personally, you guys can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. It is funny though, because, prices are as high as they've been in a while, at least for XRP. Crypto Insight UK mentioning, it feels so bearish on crypto Twitter. Honestly, I can't believe this is where we are. I get it's not been easy, but it's not been doomsday, and it feels like it has been. XRP holders, so to put things into perspective, XRP holders, we've basically been above $2 for an entire year. Do you remember, if you were here before this, do you remember how long it took to get to here? Do you remember what the sentiment was like down in here for years and years and years and years? Well, this is the Coinbase chart, so it's not showing you all the years, but if I throw this on a different chart here, you guys remember when XRP was under 60 cents, and it was pretty much since mid-2022. we were just, going up to 60, 70, coming back down to 40, 30, 50, whatever. And guys, we've been above $2 now for the better part of a year. Yet sentiment is so low. Before last November, we sat above $2 for 7 years, and now we've been above it for about a year. I'm not saying I don't want us to go higher. Of course, I want us to go higher. However, we do have to step back and we do have to realize how lucky we are. If you guys got in after the big pump in November of 2024, well, that's on you. We've been here, me and many other content creators have been here talking about this for years now. My cost average is way below $2, and this is why, if you are in profits, make sure you guys do take some gains. Pay yourself. It is important. Nevertheless, sentiment is low. I don't know how many people bought above $2. Put it down in the comment section if you did. I'm curious to know. So where are we going from here, guys? Tony Edward posting this. I'm not sure why many are overlooking the impact of the tariff situation and how that affected the crypto market timeline. Since the crash in early 2025, I've been saying that the prolonged correction after the quarter 424 rally is going to shift things. And guys, that is what we're finding out here. We saw Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in August, which is unusual. We usually don't see that. And then we had another tariff surprise with Donald Trump's October 13th announcement. I believe this bull market will continue into quarter one of 2026. Now, what I've been noticing here on the XRP chart, I've been looking at this chart a lot over the last, if we were to speak more broadly over the last 7 years, but even just over the last couple of weeks here, you guys can see inverted head and shoulders pattern. We were hoping we were going to break out of that. We got some other news that's holding XRP down. Guys, this is the micro perspective. What I want to do is take a look at, that particular structure and how we've seen it played out in the past, where we've seen it on the chart before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, guys, and I just want to take this fractal pattern here. And as you guys can see right in here back in April, we did see a similar inverted head and shoulders pattern on the XRP chart. And I can't help but, see similarities within this. Now, I do have to compress this a little bit. But as you guys can see, look at that. When I compress that over, you guys can see right up here, if you're not looking at the screen, take a look up here. That is also lining up quite nicely with what I'm seeing here on the chart. And I just want to show you guys what I'm seeing here. So with regards to this pattern, and again, this is just psychology on a chart. If we're going to be honest, a lot of these patterns repeat because traders' behavior doesn't really change. So when we compress that a little bit, you guys can see similar patterns here. You guys can see if we do dip down, back down to this level in here, that would bring us back to the $2.30 level. So let me just put a circle on there, put a circle on there. So, even without this playing out yet, we can already see these levels, these same levels being retraced in the fractal pattern. Same with up here, guys. If we get back up here, that would be a $3, just over $3 per coin, or just about $3 per coin if we do get back up to that level. So 299.7. If we get back down here, 231. So you guys can see how this fractal is matching up. This is more evidence to suggest that XRP will surpass all-time high, get up hopefully above $4 per coin. The macroeconomic factors are looking good. And guys, check this out. This could still happen by quarter 4 of 2025. This is showing us in terms of time perspective, December the 8th. Of course, I did compress this fractal a little bit. But guys, even if we do move into quarter 1 of 2026, it's not the end of the world. That's just my opinion. And again, for more opinions on the ever-evolving crypto market, because my opinion has changed too. You might watch a video and I might say something 3 months ago, and my opinion could change. If you want my up-to-date opinions, follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. That's where I give regular updates on the market, where I'm cashing out, price targets, all that fun stuff. Link is on the screen. And if you guys are interested in purchasing some Working Money Channel merch, mosey on down to the Working Money Channel merch store. The link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.